So guys, as we announced in the beginning of this year, the Kyoto Dojo of Asayama Ichiden-ryu has begun. Thank you so much. And we talked about the in-person training that I'm doing in Kyoto at Dance Space Cell, but I also hold online lessons too. Which means even if you can't come to Kyoto in person, you'll still be able to train with me in the Iaijutsu part of Asayama Ichiden-ryu. So if you're interested, it'd be great if you could check it out, okay? My online lessons are held on Monday mornings and Saturday evenings in Japan time. Monday morning is from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and also Saturday nights are also from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it's basically an hour each. And we focus on the iaido. Unfortunately, we can't do the kenjutsu in the online lessons because kenjutsu you absolutely need a partner to train with. So we can only do the iaido, but don't worry guys, even if it's just the iaido, there is plenty to learn. There's tons of things we have to learn. So I hope you can take a look at my online lessons. The really difficult part about the online lessons is the time difference, but if you can add my Google Calendar to your calendar, you'll be able to see when the lessons are held. The time difference will be automatically changed to wherever you are. So you can take a look at that if you're interested in when the lessons are held. And how to join my online lessons, you can jump to my Patreon page and you can select a membership and you can sign up from there. Why not we just take a look at the Patreon page together, okay? So this is my Patreon page, Shogo's online katana Japanese lessons. Yes, that's right, I hold Japanese lessons too. So this is where we hold the katanas and Japanese online lessons. This is my page. And if you can go to this tab right here, membership, you can sign up to my online lessons. You can first of all start from becoming a free member too. There's some information you can see even just as a free member, you can do that. But if you go down over here, see, these are the tiers that you can choose. This is my Japanese online lesson, yeah. But next to that, you can see this is the Monday class. Down over here, there's also the Saturday class. And also there's also a option for taking both the Saturday and Monday classes. Let's say I open up this Saturday and Monday. If you go down here, you can see all of the details. It's written here every Saturday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. If you press here, you can actually add the calendar. It explains about how the lessons work. I talk a little bit about what Asayama Ichiden-ryu is about. I also explain what you'll learn, what you need for the training, and I talk about the reasons why you should join the training. One thing I do want to especially share here is that you can actually take part in the DOM promotion exams of the online lessons too, even through my online lessons. So the online lessons DOM promotion exams are held in March and September, but you'll be able to participate in this too. So if you're interested, it'd be great if you can check it out. You don't have to have like a certain amount of time before you can start taking the exam, so you can take the exam immediately after you join the lessons. Of course, it'll be a little bit too difficult to do that, but there are no restrictions, so you can try anytime if you like. And I have all of these frequently asked questions down over here too. So you can choose a membership. You can start 7-day free trial, as you can see. So your first class is basically free. And during that 7-day free trial, you can actually take a look at all of the archive videos too. One of the biggest benefits of my online lessons, and also Seki-sensei and Scout-sensei, Kurosawa-sensei's online lessons, is that all the lessons will be recorded, and you'll be able to rewatch the lessons as many times as you like. So the 7-day free trial, during that period, if you'd like, you can take a look at all the past recordings and see what the lessons are like. Also take part in one of the lessons live. You can join us without the camera on, without no microphone on. You can just observe the lesson if you like, and if it seems suitable for you, please join us anytime. So for example, if you actually, let's say you press upgrade, then it comes to this page where you start your monthly payment. Okay, you can choose card, you can choose PayPal, and once you sign up, you will have access to these kind of posts where it has the password and also the ID to the Zoom. You just have to insert that to Zoom and just come to the lessons when the lessons are held, and you'll be able to join my online lessons anytime. All right, so let's start taking a look at the Tozando website. I'm sure you guys know that I recommend Tozando very much to get your training equipment. Number one, of course, your iaido, okay? Iaido are the training katana made from zinc alloy, and it's not sharp. You can't cut anything with it. But it's a safe training katana that you can use for your bato, drawing the katana training. So one characteristic of Asayama Ichiden-ryu is that you should use longer katana for your training. Let's say I'm 173 centimeters, but I actually use a 2.7 for my training, which is the longest iaido that you can get on Tozando or most of the websites. So if you take a look at the website here and go down just a little bit, there is a chart that tells you what the length of your katana should be according to how tall you are. Now again, I'm 173 centimeters, right? So if you take a look at this chart, you can see that my katana should be somewhere in between 2.4 and 2.45. Yeah. So if I'm using a 2.7, that's extremely long, right? But in Asayama Ichiden-ryu, it's important that you'll be able to move your body using a longer katana. Ideally, about 2.6 would be best. 2.7, sometimes if you're, for example, shorter than me, it might be a little bit too long. And using a katana that's too long isn't good either. So on average, if you can use somewhere around 2.55 to 2.6 iaido, that would be amazing. And as for this website, to be able to choose such a long katana, if you go down here, the blade type. Some people ask me like, Shogo, I want to get a longer iaido, but I can't choose it. And the reason is because here, when you choose the blade type, you need to choose the habahiro heavyweight blade. If you don't choose the habahiro heavyweight blade, you won't have the options for the longer iaido. So choose habahiro, and also then the blade length changes to all the way to 2.7. Let's say you chose Hyojin standard blade. And then if you go to choose blade length, see, it only goes up to 2.45. Yeah, so 2.45 will be too short, yeah, so for Ichiden-ryu's training. So ideally you want a longer one. As you can see, for blade length over 2.5 shaku, only habahiro right here. So you choose habahiro, and ideally again, 2.6 or longer would be best. Now, if you're still afraid, well, I'm not that tall, for example, my arms aren't that long, you could start with a shorter one. But ideally, to be able to learn how to fully use your body to draw and sheath the katana, you don't want to use a short katana that you can just draw easily with your hands. It won't be very good training for you to develop good foundation for your training in the future. So ideally, please use a longer katana. And with that said, let's say you chose the 2.7. The hamon, yeah, choose whatever you like. For the hi, it would be better if your iaido does have a hi, because in Asayama Ichiden-ryu, we do something called the crab pinch. You pinch the blade, the shinogi, with your index finger and your thumb. If you have a hi, your iaido has an hi, it'll be able to easily find where the position for the crab pinch to be, because what you need to do is put your fingertips into the groove. So ideally, please choose an iaido that has a hi. The hisaki, the tome doesn't matter. For the tsuba, you can choose whatever you want to, go ahead. But traditionally in the past, what it is taught is that you should use a tsuba that doesn't have so much of the sukashi. Okay, we call it in Japanese. Sukashi is the openings, the holes on the tsuba. Ideally, you want to choose one that has less holes. So in this case, if you're taking a look at these lists of tsuba, let's say this one, I believe this is a dragonfly. This one only has the hole for the koga and kozuka, right? No other sukashi holes in it. So this one, for example, would be a good tsuba. On the other hand, a not so good tsuba, considering the traditional teachings in Asayama Ichiden-ryu, will be like, for example, this one. This has a lot, it's almost as, completely see-through, basically, right? So this is not good, because traditionally there were occasions where the opponent's katana came in through your tsuba and you would get your hand cut. So because Asayama Ichiden-ryu was born on the battlefield and it's very practical, the teachings are very practical, it teaches that you should use tsubas like this one, yeah, with less sukashi. So if you want to follow the traditional rules very strictly, then you could choose tsubas like this. But again, it's up to you though. Yeah, if for example you use a tsuba with a lot of sukashi, yeah, doesn't mean that the headmaster is going to tell you to throw away your iaido or anything. You can continue training with it, but yes, ideally it would be best if you can choose a tsuba without the sukashi as much as possible. Okay, habaki doesn't matter, the color doesn't matter, seppa doesn't matter. Tsuka, important. Tsuka length, it has to be at least 9 sun long. My katana 2.7 shaku has 9.5. So ideally, it should be somewhere between 9 sun to 1 shaku. Anything longer than that will be too long. And the reason why you want a certain length is because you use the tsuka to block and to fight in Asayama Ichiden-ryu. There are techniques where you block the opponent's attack that's coming towards you with the tsuka. If the tsuka is too short, you won't be able to protect yourself. There are occasions where you attack with the tsuka. If your tsuka is too short, you won't be able to reach the opponent, right? But again, at the same time though, if your tsuka is too long, it's very difficult to balance the grip. So it is usually said somewhere between 9 sun to 1 shaku would be best. Again, I'm using a 2.7 shaku iaido, and that has a 9.5 sun length for the tsuka. So if you can keep that in mind somewhere, okay? Tsuka shape, up to you. Tsuka material, there's cotton, silk, leather, and suede, right? I personally love using suede. Yeah, but traditionally in the past, what was considered good was cotton actually. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one is cheap. In the past, again, as just explained to you, you would block attacks with the tsuka, right? So the tsuka ito, the wrapping the strings on the tsuka, would easily break and we have to re-wrap it. If you use expensive materials like the suede and leather each time. Nowadays, you train with iaidos, so you don't actually get your tsukaito cut that easily, but in the past it could happen very often, right? So you want to use cheaper materials, okay? Number two, cotton actually absorbs blood and sweat very well. So even if, for example, if you have some blood on your hands, even if your hands are sweaty, the cotton will absorb the sweat and blood for you so your hands don't slip. Nowadays though, yeah, you wouldn't have blood on your hands or have that much sweat on your hands, right? So I personally feel suede has a really good grip personally, yeah. But traditionally, cotton should be the one you should choose. And again, cotton is a cheaper option. So this too, just like the tsuba, is up to you. Traditionally, it's cotton, just keep that in mind. Then the number of mekugi doesn't matter either. Tsukasame, fuchikashira, choose whatever design you like. The simpler the better though. Yeah, Asayama Ichiden-ryu does not like using a fancy iaido. It's a tool that you use for training, so the simpler the better. But again, this is up to you too. Menuki is up to you as well. Menuki position, choose the standard position. And as for the saya, Saya too, the color is up to you, but you should choose something simple. Again, black, maybe a little bit of gray, yeah. If you try to use something very, very fancy, it's not very suitable for Asayama Ichiden-ryu's training. It doesn't go along the mindset, the philosophy of Asayama Ichiden-ryu. And also one important thing, we have plenty of techniques in Asayama Ichiden-ryu where we block attacks and also fight with the saya. That means your katana, your saya, will get attacked by your partner's iaido, will get cut, there will be dents, there will be scratches, it'll be damaged heavily. So if you have like this very precious saya that you don't want to get damaged or get dirty or anything, then you don't understand the true heart of Asayama Ichiden-ryu. It's all about using your tool to the maximum and trying to learn everything from that. You take good care of your tools, but you have to use it without taking anything back, okay? That's the teachings of Asayama Ichiden-ryu. So ideally, please don't choose something fancy, okay? Keep it simple. Something black or darker color will be ideal because you're gonna destroy your saya in your training. And that's how we train in Asayama Ichiden-ryu because it's a kobudo. All right, so that is the saya. All these other details too, totally up to you, okay? Kojiri's design too, again, ideally, choose a simple one. The sageo material also has cotton silk and all the different designs too. But again, for the sageo too, please try to keep it as simple as possible. Very colorful sageo might not be so suitable for Asayama Ichiden-ryu training. Personally, I like using silk because silk sageo are more softer. It'll be easier for you to tie it to your obi and such. So I personally like silk, and a more simpler color would be ideal. But in the end, again, this is also up to you. All right, add extra saya. Yeah, this says add extra saya, but if you can get an extra saya in the future when you practice these more difficult techniques, again, you will get dents and your saya will be damaged heavily. One thing that the instructors or the higher ranking students in Asayama Ichiden-ryu do is that they have two sayas for the same iaido. One saya is for when you don't perform those techniques where you get your saya cut. The other saya is when you do. So when you practice these, techniques where you have to block with the sides, you use the damaged one, and when you don't, you use the prettier one basically, because you don't want to use a very damaged, dented one for example, a dedication performance like enbu and such. So if you can, if your budget allows you, then getting an extra saya in advance would be a good idea. But again, if this is still your first katana and if you're not exactly sure if you'll be using the same length, same material, and same details for a very, very long time, then you can just stick with one saya. And in the future, when you actually move on to these more advanced techniques and maybe purchase a new iaido, then you can add an extra saya to it. All right, then shitodomen is also up to you. Deluxe iaido bag, if you like, go ahead. Add leather koiguchi run protector, totally up to you as well. All right, so those were the details of the iaido you should choose for Asayama Ichiden-ryu. We took a look at the custom iaido page, so this iaido is quite expensive. You could start from the ones, for example, if you go to Tozando's page, if you choose iaido, you can find like fast shipping iaido that are already made. Take a look at these. Yeah, these iaidos, you can't custom them, basically. All the materials and the shapes of the tsubas and such are already chosen for you, so you can't change them. But there are very good ones. There are ones that are rather long, yeah, and tsubas that aren't so fancy. So you can start from taking a look at these ones, and again, once you start advancing in your techniques, gradually start using a longer one. Yeah, it's totally up to you. But if you can though, again, if you can choose a custom iaido and try to create the one that's suitable for Asayama Ichiden-ryu training, that would be the best. But again, it's up to you though. Just because you're using a shorter iaido doesn't mean you can't take part in the training or anything. So please keep that in mind. Now, the long story about the iaido is now over, so let's move on to the training gear. One thing that you tend to misunderstand is that for Asayama Ichiden-ryu training, please choose the training gear that's worn in kendo. Of course, if you wear the training gear for iaido, that's totally fine, it's not a problem and such. But in Asayama training though, there are techniques where you do the ukemi, the technique of falling safely. There are techniques where you're on the floor, you have to roll on the floor, you have to take the ukemi and such. So your dogi, the training gear, has to be pretty strong. So as you can see, this dogi is a kendo dogi. Kendo dogi are stronger than iaido dogi. So as you can see here, kendo uniform set. This is probably the cheapest set that you can get, and you can also get the dogi and the hakama together. So this is the one that I recommend the most. It's not expensive at all either. So, and how to wear the dogi, I will be making a separate video talking about that, so I hope you look forward to it. Then what you need next is also the socks, the traditional socks called tabi. Okay, if you take a look at this over here, budo tabi leather sole. Okay. There are many different types of tabi, but for budo training, the ideal one are these ones, okay, with the leather sole. I think this is what you would use in kendo as well, but this is it adjusts the slipperiness on the floor very well, and it's a proper tabi shape, and it also uses a Velcro tape for you to wear it. It's not the kohase, the traditional type of tabi's hooks that they have. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It stays there, it stays in place a lot easier compared to that. So I do recommend these very much. One thing you need to keep in mind though is that in Asayama Ichiden-ryu, before you become an instructor level, you have to wear tabi that is not white. Beginners are not allowed to wear white tabi, okay? Because white tabi exposes your footwork, and beginners cannot do the footwork correctly. So if you expose your footwork, you're just showing that you're not doing very well. Once you become an instructor, people have to watch your footwork to get better, right? Because you're an instructor. You have to show your footwork to be able to teach everyone, right? That's when you finally have the right to wear white tabi. Before that, as you can see, please always choose navy. Okay? Please always choose navy and not the white one. Ideally, this is the tabi that I recommend. However, I often simply wear tabi socks. Just because you're not wearing this type of tabi, it doesn't mean you can't take part in the training or anything. Barefoot is fine too. Yeah, wearing these tabi is fine too. Tabi socks is fine. Just wearing normal, colorful socks is not good. If the color is black, then it's totally fine. But for input performances, like official performances and such, the rules are different, but I'll explain that in another occasion. Then next, about the inner obi. So earlier we took a look at the kendo uniform set. So you took a look at the dogi, and also the hakama, but you need to have an obi inside. So if you can take a look at here, cotton hakuobi. This is the cheapest option that's available on Tozando, and I recommend it very much. Now the color there is, as you can see, right now it seems beige is sold out, but dark brown, black, navy, and white. Now I personally recommend black very much. And the reason is because as you train, your hakama tends to go down a little bit as you continue training. And when you have a colorful obi, let's say you're wearing a white obi, the obi will show on the top of your hakama and it doesn't look very well. Dressing properly is a very important thing when you practice traditional budo. So even if your obi is a little bit shown, if it's black, then it'll be very hard to tell that your hakama is dropping a little bit, you know? So I personally recommend black very much. So keeping it simple, as I said, with the iaido too. Same thing for the uniform. Ideally, please choose black. However, just because you're not wearing black, it doesn't mean it's gonna be a huge problem or anything. It could be any other color, but I personally, as a senpai, I recommend black. One huge characteristic of Asayama Ichiden-ryu is that you need an extra obi called the outer obi. Inner obi, as I said, goes over the dogi and under the hakama. There's one more obi that has to go over the hakama, and that is called the outer obi. Nowadays, the outer obi, as you can see over here, I'm showing you the white aikido obi. Many of the trainees use these aikido, judo, karate obis as their outer obi. You put the katana into your uchikatana, the daito, into your outer obi. You can use these. Yeah, I actually like using the sarashi, which is the bleached cotton cloth. Most of them are sold in rolls of like 3 meters or even longer than that, and you cut it to the right length. So that is also highly recommended too. There's actually a website, Japanese Fabric Cotton Online Sarashi.net. So you can buy sarashi wherever you are in the world. These are the actual sarashi that you can purchase. There are some colored ones and such too, but please get the white one. The colored outer obis show the down ranks that you have, but the beginners have to be wearing white. So if you can look for the white sarashi, that's also recommended too. Up to you. Some people say, oh no, I absolutely want to wear the judo, aikido, karate obi, that's easier for me. Oh no, sarashi is absolutely better. I first started 2 years or so with the karate, judo, aikido obi. I was actually wearing aikido obi, but now I'm sticking to sarashi. Yeah, sarashi is really, really soft, and traditionally too, I believe sarashi was the outer obi that samurais used in the past very often. So it's very soft, it's very flexible, so it kind of adjusts to the right position where you use your katana too. So highly recommended. However, the headmaster sensei uses the aikido, karate, judo type of obi too, so that's not a mistake at all. Ultimately, please try out both. They're not very expensive. You can try out both because, you know, training goes a long way anyways. So you can try to experiment, see which one works for you, and use whatever you want. Right, everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, to be honest, when we started the online lessons about 3 years ago, 60 Days online lessons began first, there were a lot of people telling us, you know, in the comments saying that, oh, you can't learn a martial art, you know, can't learn Kobudo just through online lessons, you know, it's possible, it's not gonna work and all that kind of stuff. Now, to be honest, we do not think that online lessons are enough to learn a whole Kobudo Ryuha, Asayama Ichiden-ryu. It's impossible. That's the reason why we hold the annual training camp in Japan in the beginning of September. That's the reason why we hold in-person training in Kyoto, which you can come anytime, of course. The Kenjutsu is the foundation of Asayama Ichiden-ryu's techniques. So of course that needs a partner, so in-person training is a must. However, don't get us wrong, there is plenty that you can learn through online lessons too. The club leaders and branch leaders who are given permission to teach Asayama Ichiden-ryu all around the world now, all mainly train through the online lessons, and they have reached their levels through that training. They've only done in-person training with Six Sensei maybe maximum 3-4 times in the past, but they've been able to reach that level because of all the content that we provide. Okay, the online lessons, the recordings of the previous lessons, all of these materials, and also of course the videos on Nata Six Sensei have helped these students to reach this level. So you, of course, if you train seriously, you'll be able to get to their level too. They're proof. Basically, the club leaders and branch leaders are proof that the online lessons is a good method for people who cannot come to Japan all the time to start their training and also lead to even more advanced techniques. So we can say with a lot of confidence that this does work, and it will work for you too if you train seriously. So now we can finally say with pride and confidence, the people who've been telling us from the beginning, oh, it's not gonna work and all that kind of stuff. You wanna come and see our club leaders Enbu then? They're doing pretty good. Yeah. The headmaster loves it very much. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Are you sure you're right? Because I think we proved something here within the past 3 years. And so that's the reason why we're very confident about the online lessons too. So again, let's continue training as much as possible, online, in person, wherever you like. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am very serious to achieve this goal of having 100 members in the Kyoto Dojo within 1 year. I truly need your support, okay? This is a humongous goal that I have no clue how I'm gonna be achieving. But so I really need every support, yes, from you guys as much as possible. So it'd be great if you can cheer me on, yeah, and help me out as much as possible. If you have any friends or families that are interested in training with katanas or in Kobudo, please do recommend Asayama Ichiden-ryu's Kyoto Dojo training. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.